அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல
ஓம் நமः பரமர்ஷிभ्यो நமः பரமர்ஷிभ्याम्. ஹரிः ஓம். உபாசகானாம் யதுபாசனீயம் உபாத்தவாசம் வடசாக்கிமூலே தத்தாம தாக்ஷிண்யஜுஷா ஸ்வமூர்த்யாம் ஜாகர்த்து சித்தே மம போதரூபம் அத்ராக்ஷம் அக்ஷீணதயாநிதானம் ஆச்சார்யவாத்யம் வடமூலபாகே மௌனேன மந்தஸ்மிதபூஷிதேன மஹர்ஷிலோகஸ்ய தமோனுதந்தம் வித்ராவிதாசேஷதமோகணேன முத்ராவிசேஷேண முहुर्முனீனாம் நிரஸ்யமாயாம் தயயா விதத்தே தேவோ மகான் தத்வமசீதி போதம் மமாத்யதேவோ வடமூலவாசீம் கிருபாவிசேஷாத் கிருதசன்னிதானः ஓங்காரரூபாமுபதிஷ்ய வித்யாம் ஆவித்யகத்வாந்தமபாகரோது அந்தர்யஸ்ச பகிர்விதூததிமிரம் ஜோதிர்மயம் சாஸ்வதம் ஸ்தானம் பிராப்ய விராஜதே வினமதாமஜ்ஞானமுன்மூலயன் பஷ்யன் விஸ்வமபீதமுல்லசதியோ விஸ்வஸ்ய பாரே பரஹ தஸ்மை ஸ்ரீரமணாய லோககுரவே சோகஸ்ய ஹந்த்ரே நமः. தேஹம் ऋण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं सल्लापेन सदा हृदात्मरमणाम् आद्योपदिष्टार्थगां सल्लाभेन सदा हृदन्तरमणिम् एकात्मयोगस्थितां चिल्लाभादृतबोधभानुकिरणाम् एकान्तहृत्पद्मगां मल्लाभां शिवनिर्वृतार्थविभवाम् ईडे महावैभवाम् सद्योजात समाधिजातलहरीम् आद्यां चिदानन्दजां सत्यार्थान्तरदृष्टदेशिकगिराजाज्वल्यमानां धियं सम्बुद्ध्यात्मनिरूढयोगजबलात् सम्पश्यमानां भजे शान्त्यायुक्तभवान्तरान्तरचरीम् अस्मज्जगन्नायकीम्. योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. Yesterday we saw the 20th verse in Ulladu Narpadu. காணும் தனை விட்டு தான் கடவுளை காணல் காணும் மனோமயமாம் காட்சி தனை. this verse we saw. To see Ishvara, to realize God, is to know the self. That is the essence. Otherwise, you will be seeing some vision, it will be mental, or outwardly you will be seeing sensory. But the true vision of God is the knowledge of the self. To know that the self within you is God. So this is the last verse. Tān kadavul andri iladal. One's real nature, the I am within, the I within, is the nature of Ishvara. In Tamil we say kadavul. Means ul means inside. You go inside and see. That is the purport of it, import of it. God is shining forth within you as your own real nature, as your own self. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, a-m-matikkuḻ sarvabhūtāṣaya sthitaḥ. I am the Atma inside everyone, I am the self inside everyone. This is the real nature, real swarupa of me. So this is the teaching of all the Upanishads. And Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also follows the same thing. In many of his verses he says, his Ishta Devata is Arunachala Shiva. He says, Arunachala, you are the self inside, the Atman inside. In Bhagavatam, many places Vyasa says, the real form of Bhagavan is the Atma. He is inside you as the self. Krishnamenam avehitvam atmanam akhilatmanam. Krishna that you are worshipping, he is the Atman, he is the self inside you. He is the self. So this is the thing that one has to recognize, realize. Because only when you know yourself, you will know God. There is no other way. When you know what this I means, who I am, then nothing else remains to be known, seen. taṉணai arindidil pin yeṉணai ulladu ariya. Once you know yourself, what else remains to be known? taṉணai arindidil pin yeṉணai arindidil yen. Whatever you may know, what is the use? So the real knowledge is in knowing one's own real self, because we think that the body is the self. The body grows old and dies, whatever you may do. Whatever yoga practice you may do, exercise you may do, whatever diet you may take, however healthy you may maintain, the body one day will deceive you. You cannot hold it for eternity. So fortunately the body is not me. And all our education, all our medical science, everything is only for the body. But the body is not me. The body never says I. Something else from within says I, aham, aham, aham. And when you turn the attention towards that, then you find that it is birthless, it is deathless, it is pure consciousness. So, that is again and again revealed in every verse. So now we are entering the verse 21. taṉணaittāṉ kāṇal talaivaṉ taṇai kāṇal eṉṉumpaṉ ணūluṇmai eṉnnaiyeṉiண taṉṉaittāṉ kāṇalevaṉ tānoṇḍṛால் kāṇavoṇādēl talaivaṉ kāṇalevaṉ ūṇādal kāṇ உயிராத்தான் கருதும் தன்னைத்தான் காணல் தலைவன் தன்னை காணல். One who considers himself as a jiva Seeing oneself is actually to see the self, the primal being, God. To know, to see the self. a-m-matikkuḻ drashtavyah. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, this Atma must be seen. How can you see it? You cannot see. You can only recognize it. Shrotavyo, mantavyo, nididhyasitavyah. You listen, you contemplate, and you meditate, and you realize. So, eṉṉumpaṉ ṇūluṇmai. Many scriptures, all the Upanishads, they declare, if you know yourself, you know the essence of creation, the substratum of creation, or Brahman, or God, whatever you mean. So, taṉṇai kāṇal. Talaivaṉ means Ishvara. yeṉṉumpaṉ ணūluṇmai. Nūl in Tamil means books, scriptures. taṉṇaittāṉ, as the experience of I am is one without a second. See, Advaita is very simple. You don't need all this scriptural torture for Advaita. Ramana Bhagavan said, Advaita is very simple. Somebody said, Bhagavan, is it Advaita or Dvaita? Bhagavan did not go for all the declarations, Mahavakya. He simply asked, do you feel two I inside you? That also only a question, no answer. He said, no, Bhagavan, I experience myself. And is there duality there? No. Then what? Proved. Over. Duality is not felt. Even in deep sleep, you don't feel duality. Even now, I feel experience is always only aham, I am. Everything else is only a pratiti, perception. I am seeing you, I am not experiencing you. I can only see. If I close my eyes, I will not know whether you are there. And about my own body, it is only sensation. And things inside my body, I do not even know. But the only thing I am knowing is that which shines forth, that which is self-luminous as aham, as I am. Sattva bhasika chitkvavetara sattayahi chit-chittayahi aham. That sat, chit and aham are same. It is shining forth inside as aham, aham, aham. And that is my Swarupa, which is always experienced. Actually, Vedanta is a finished product. Shankaracharya says, Bhuta Vastu Vishayam. In Tamil, Mudindu Pona Kadai. That is what we say. Mudindu Pona Kadai. You cannot add anything, you cannot take anything. What exists is revealed. Hence, the Shastra says it is Vastu Tantra Jnanam. By your knowledge, you will not add anything. By your not knowing, whether you know or not, the rope is rope, but you see it as snake. Even while you are seeing it as snake, it is rope only. Your misapprehension made you see the snake, but actually it is rope only. Like that, whether you understand yourself as the body or the mind or the ego, you are the Atma, you are the self, you are the Shuddha Chaitanya Vastu. Your ignorance will not affect the truth, because the truth stands on its own ground, Vastu Tantra. So that is it. So all the Shastras say, if you know the self, you will be released, you will be free. If you know the Atma, you will know God. And you will have true God, because the outer God will run away from you. These Gopikas, they say, we got so much attached to this Krishna, he ran away. But fortunately, before going, we found out his secret. Because we understood that he is not this blue boy. We know that he is the Atma. And all the jnanis, realized beings, illumined souls, They also know his secret. That is why they never run after him outside. They catch hold of him as the inner self and remain established. Kurvanti hitvai ratim kushalaha swa atman nityapriye patisutadi virartidaihi kim. This husband, wife, children, all these lovable things outside, they all create arti. They all create, one day or another, they will give you grief, sorrow. You get deeply attached, they will leave you. The problem is, something you don't like, it never leaves you. Someone whom you don't want to come, he comes and stays for months together. And someone you don't want to leave, the moment you get deeply attached, he leaves you. So this is the anukulam prati pravartate pratikulati nivartate. This is life. But what you want is already within you as your own real being. That is the non-dual experience of I am as I. So, taṉ oṇḍṛāl, taṉṇaittāṉ kāṇalevaṉ. How can you see yourself? Because your very existence is non-dual. There is no seer and seen there. So how can you see? There is no question of seeing. There is only being. There is only existing. When you wake up to this fact, oṇādēl, I cannot see. It is impossible to see the Atma, because Atma is Atma. It is itself knows its own existence by its own light. uṇmai kāṇa. The moment you recognize this secret, what happens is this mind which wants that fulfillment, which wants that fruition, which wants to see, it gets absorbed in the self. It gets swallowed by the inner force, inner power. The mind gets swallowed by the power within, and the mind is absorbed. Actually, mind is swallowed. That is self-realization. What is self-realization? You use some technique, some method, by doing mantra japa or meditation, you keep the mind quiet. But the moment you leave that, the mind starts jumping. This is the usual process. You attend some satsang, for the time being it is quiet. You hear some bhajan, for the time being it is quiet. This is laya. This is layam. But the moment the laya is over, the mind starts moving. The moment that upaya, that method is removed, the mind starts moving. But jnanam is not layam. Jnanam is the inner being, the inner self. It just swallows the mind. It just swallows not only the mind, the very jiva bhava, the ego. Actually, the whole thing happens inside. Bhagavan says, uṇmādal kāṇa. Un means food. In Aksharamanamale, Bhagavan says, Arunachala, I came to you thinking that you are a very delicious food. So I wanted to taste you. See, it means when we come to spiritual life, we want to taste God. Right? We want to taste God. Actually, the tasting happens within. Outwardly, you will be seeing Bhagavan's Divya Mangala Vigraha, that form. But inwardly, you are tasting. Or Nama, you are tasting. So you want to experience, taste God. Shāpādu unnai sārndu. Bhagavan says, I approached you, I came near you thinking that you are a good shāpādu. I can experience you. I can taste you like other things that I am experiencing in the world. Something supreme, something transcendental, something supremely high than the worldly thing. Only that much idea I had. That is how we come. That is how we come. That is why this Ramakrishna story is very attractive in the beginning. In the beginning it is very attractive because Swami Vivekananda as a youngster went to Ramakrishna and asked, have you seen God? And Ramakrishna says, yes, I have seen God. As more intimately than I am seeing you. So we feel, confident. But that is very inspiring. But later on you understand what he meant. Because first if you say that he is your own self, you have to realize him, that much thrill is not there. So seeing God means you feel something supreme, and added to it one more thing. How is it possible to see God? Then Ramakrishna says, in Samadhi experience you can see God. See, many people, they say this Samadhi is not needed. They go too much to philosophical side. But for a person, he needs some hold. So you have to say that experience happens in Samadhi. When you say that, in Samadhi that is experience. Okay, then catch hold of it and again climb to the higher step. Then you say, the God that you are seeking is within you. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtari. He is inside the heart. So I have to see him inside. How to say? You meditate. Then meditation will ripe to the state of samadhi. Okay, that I will do. How should I meditate? I need something to meditate. Meditate on that divine form of Bhagavan. I will meditate. Or mantra japa, something. Hold on. Okay. Then what happens? Then that form also disappears. The mantra also merges. Then one experiences that pure state of consciousness. And what you experience within, that is the Atma, it is the Self. But it comes and goes. Yes, it will come and go. It will come and go. But where does it arise, where does it stay, and where does it merge? In the heart, in the Self. You see there, the Self eternally exists there. It is you, Tattvamasi. And slowly, slowly that eternal principle is being made to see. When one observes, sees that, and when one's own ego, the one who wants to enjoy, he also is being swallowed by the inner force. The ahankara is gone. Arunagirinatha sings, Yānāgiya yeṉணை விழுங்கி வெறும் தானாய் நிலை நின்றது தத்பரமே. The highest realization, he speaks very beautifully. He says, the சாப்பாடு and சாப்பிடுறவர், the person who eats and the food, both are inside. The inner self, what did it do? It swallowed the lower self, the ego self. The ego was swallowed inside. சாப்பாடு உன்னை சார்ந்து உணவாயேன். I became உணவு, I became food to you, you swallowed me. சாந்தமாய் போவன் அருணாச்சல. Now here it is absolute peace, profound peace, great beatitude is there inside. So that is uṇmādal kāṇa vayam devasya bhojanam. Shruti says, we become bhojanam to Bhagavan. He just swallows you. So that is it. All scriptural text speaks of divine visions. Atmanam iksheda param prapashyed ityagamuktehe sulabho na bhavaha. Natmaiva drishyo yadika katheshe swayam tad anni bhavanam tadiksha. To become anna, to become ahara to Bhagavan is to see Bhagavan. So this is the teaching that is given. Nivritta buddhyavasthanaha duribhuta anyadarshanaha upalabhya atmana atmanam chakchusheva arkam atmadrik. With an inward facing intellect and doing away with the habit of seeing the other, abide in the self. Such abidance itself is seeing. As the eyes behold the splendorous sun, The eye of awareness recognizes the self. So this kind of recognition of pure consciousness within is what Bhagavan here calls as uṇmādal. The individual I becomes food for the inner self. Vayam devasya bhojan. Nammalvar, the great Vaishnava saint, sang of this experience thus: when I saw the Lord overwhelmed by love, I felt like swallowing him. Parikyabunna. He says, I wanted to swallow Perumal. When he saw Narayana, he said, I will swallow him. You see, Bhagavan, you want to netraihi shrotraischa pitva paramarasa sukambodhi pure rameran. As Bhattadri expresses in Narayaniyam, he says, I will drink Bhagavan through my eyes, through my ears. The divine form is being swallowed through eyes, and the Bhagavatam and all satsanga you drink through ears. So, netraihi shrotraischa pitva. And what happens? Parama rasa sukambodhi. Ambodhi means ocean. Parama rasa sukambodhi. That great blissful ocean of supreme delight, bliss. In that ocean, I will just merge and melt and disappear. I will just remain in that ocean, become one with it. So how? I will taste him. I will swallow him. So Nammalvar was a great devotee. In Vaishnava Sampradaya, he is considered one of the greatest of devotees. Here, many people now, even Vaishnavas are writing to me that, Swami, you should speak about Nammalvar, Nammalvar's Basuram. They are all filled with Advaita Jnanam. But I have not studied that much this Vaishnava literature. So, but I have heard about the stories. Nammalvar, in his very childhood, he went and sat under a tree and absorbed in samadhi. Unnum sorum tinnum vetrilayum. Whatever I eat, that food, that betel leaf, everything is Krishna. He says, it's all Krishna. So that was his realization. So he will be sitting under the tree, absorbed in that state. And another devotee, great devotee, sought him. He wanted to see his guru. He was wandering somewhere in north. And he was guided by divine signs, and he came to that village. And he asked him a question. When a little entity comes out of the whole, when it manifests out of the whole, what will it What will it eat and where will it stay? This is the question. What will it eat and where will it stay? It is our story actually. This little entity is our own Jiva Bhava. This Ahankara. And it is eating everything in the world. Through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the tongue, through the skin. Swallowing and wallowing in the world. Yattai tindru enge kidakkum. And Nammalvar was keeping silent for all these years. He said, Attai tindru ange kidakkum. There is two kind of vyakhana for this. One people says, Shattadin ulle shiriyadu pirandal yattai tindru enge kidakkum. But Murugana told, it is Chattadilla, the Chittinulle Shiriyadu Pirandal, Yattai Tindru Yange Kidakkum, Attai Tindru Ange Kidakkum. In that pure consciousness, when this limited I arises, Jiva Bhava arises, it goes back to the source and absorbs only that and remains in that state. Uditta idattil odungi iruttal. அது கர்மவும் பக்தியும் உந்தி பர யோக ஞானவும் உந்தி பர. Karma, bhakti, yoga, jnana, everything is what? உதித்த இடத்தில் ஒடுங்கி இருத்தல். The source from where it arose it goes back to the same source, absorbs in the same source and experiences that source. So this is, Nammalvar here says, when I saw the Lord overwhelmed by love, I felt like swallowing him, but he consumed me. When I went near, what happened? eṉṉaiyumpaṛikka He just swallowed me. eṉṉaiyiழந்த as Arunagirinathar says. எல்லாம் அற என்னை இழந்த நலம் சொல்வாய் முருகா சுரபூபதியே. எல்லாம் அற என்னை இழந்த நலம். That great nalam means that it is actually the healthy state, very auspicious, wholesome state, where the ego is not. எல்லாம் அற என்னை இழந்த நலம் சொல்வாய். Give me that teaching by which I will recognize that Muruga Surabhupatiye. Many songs, and where he says, Ennai virungi taṇṇai nilai nindrathu. Just swallowed. The same thing in this song also Bhagavan says. Arunachaleshwara is called Uyirunni. Arunachala is called Uyirunni. His very nature is to swallow the Uyir, the Jiva Bhava, the Ahankara, the mind. Everything he finishes. Annamalayai adiyenai ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவி உடல் கொண்டாய். You just took over my body, my mind, my ego, everything. Now only you exist. So this is what Bhagavan here says. When the Sakshatkara comes, the Advaita Jnana comes, then for the Jnani there is neither body, nor mind, nor ego, nor world. Ekameva advitiyam nehananasti kinchana. That non-dual one principle alone exists. Nothing else remains. So this is in the Advaita Bhava oṇādēl. Of course, this oṇādēl, I told that song long back, the Malayalam, that Narayana Guru also wrote the same thing. Aksharamanamale Bhagavan wrote, Bhakshittai prananodu Arunachala. He says, Arunachala, when I came near you, just swallowed me along with my prana, my mind, my senses. The same way, Narayana Guru in Malayalam wrote, Adikku pannipoi nin mudikkur annavum paranna. The famous story, the Annapakshi, Hamsa, it went towards the head, and the boar, it went downward, seeking the feet and head. So, adikku panni poi nin mudikkur annavum paranna, aduttu kandadilla ninna eṉṉum agnishailamme. That Agnishailam is Arunachala. But when I wanted to know and came near you, eduttu nee vizhungiyanna indriyangaloduden nadichidum namashivaya nayaka namo nama. The moment I came near you, just swallowed me. And you were dancing Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. That Namah Shivaya means what? The self, the pure Chaitanya is dancing as Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya Nayaka Namo Nama. So this is what is expressed here. So swallowing the I, which is the me, the supreme being shown forth boundless as I am. So this is the true spirituality, surrender. When you surrender, what does the Guru do? He just finishes you off. Pakshattodu rakshi. Balimapi balimatva veshtaya dhvangshavadyaha alamasita sakyaihi. As Bhagavata, these Gopikas say Brahmara Geetam, where they say, you should never get associated with this black person. You know, in last Avatara, he went to that Mahabali. And Mahabali said, whatever you want, I will give you. Offering. He said, very acting as if he is very desireless. He said, I want only 3 feet of earth, place to live. He said, okay, I will give. But before that, I should know your name, Aadhaar card. What is your name? He said, my name is Bali. Oh, Bali. So I will take you as Bali. Bali means, you know what? It means sacrificial animal. So Mahabali said, I am Bali. He said, I will make you Bali. I will swallow you. Bali mabi balimatva. And just swallowed him. Like that, Arunachala has also this nature. And Muruganar says, Bhagavan also belongs to same. Every guru, you go there to get swallowed. So Muruganar said, Bhagavan also is like that, and he makes fun of Bhagavan. He says, you are born in a Brahmana family, and Brahmana is supposed to be very compassionate, very merciful, and you are doing this butcher shop. Payilum talam yaduvo kolai payil vittavar yavaro Andanar kula marabagiya Dayayin swarupam tangiya Andanar kula marabang. You belong to the Andanar kula marabu. Andanar marabu. You are born in the Brahmin legacy, and Brahmins are supposed to be merciful, compassionate. But what do you do? What did you do to me? Said, where did you learn this butchering art? Whoever comes to you, just finish him off. Arave segittan yanadu uyirai. He just completely finished me off. Means the ego is gone, the jiva bhava is gone, the mind is no more there. So that is expressed here. This is why all the Puranas say, the Asuras, when they get killed by Bhagavan, they get liberated. They dare to challenge Bhagavan. That is why they get liberated. Those who love Bhagavan, they will also get liberated. Those who fight with Bhagavan, they also get liberated. Those who hate Bhagavan, they also get liberated. Those who are in some way connected to Bhagavan, they also get liberated. Only those who do not get liberated, who goes to Bhagavan and say, Bhagavan, let my daughter get married. Let my son get job. If you are there, namaskaram. Udasina. No way connected deeply. And Bhagavan is another thing which you utilize for your purpose. Such people will not get liberated. Either you should be a devotee, or you should be a constant attacking atheist. You will also get liberated. Because you are constantly thinking, you are connected. You are seriously, Bhagavan is a problem for you. So you want to finish the subject by saying there is no God. That is why, Kerala, it's a constant story that many communists, they end up their life as becoming devotees. Sincere communists, not these so-called political communists. Sincere communists, they end up their life at last becoming devotees, because all life they were trying to prove that there is no God and constantly thinking about God. And what happens? God is pleased with them. In whatever way you think, I will come to you. So this constantly happens. One of our teachers in school used to make fun of us. He said, what is this Bhagavan? Is it atom or molecule? All those things he used to make fun. And after many years, I was doing Bhagavata Saptaham at that time. And once I was going in the market. Suddenly somebody said, Namaskaram. I saw this person standing there with all bhasma from here and to this end. I was shocked. Is this the same person? Then later on I came to understand He became a devotee doing puja in a temple. Ended up his life like that. I asked, what happened? He said, because some sorrow came in his life and then he found there is nothing else to hold. Somehow the mind turns towards the reality. And then the reality starts swallowing you. It swallows you means it takes your full attention. Otherwise the mind is turned towards the world, no attention towards the self. But when the self pulls you, the mind turns inward and the attention is focused inward. So that is the real meaning of oṇādēl. Okay, so 22. எவையும் காணும் மதிக்கு ஒளி தந்து அம்மதிக்குள் ஒளிரும் மதியினை உள்ளே மடக்கி பதியிர் பதித்திடுதல் அன்றி பதியை மதியால் மதித்திடுதல் எங்கன் மதியாய். This is the song. எவையும் காணும் மதிக்கு ஒளி தந்து அம்மதிக்குள் ஒளிரும் பதியில் மதியினை உள்ளே மடக்கி. Fold everything inside. The senses must be folded and kept in the mind. And the mind must be, you must fold the mind and keep it in the intellect. And let the intellect also, you fold it and merge it in the heart, in the self. Eched vāṅ manasi prajñah tadyached jnānamatmani. Jnānamatmani mahati niyachet tadyachet shanta atmani. The Upanishad says the senses are to be withdrawn into the mind. Yached vāṅ manasi. Tadyachet jnānatmani. Jnānatma is intellect. Tadyachet shanta atmani. Then you find the true peace, quietude, calmness, where the senses, the mind, the I thought, everything is subsumed, and only that Maha Maunam is there. That Maha Maunam of Samadhi is there. So, Matinai ulle madakki. The intellect must be turned inward. That which sees everything, that which illumines the intellect and mind. a-m-matikkuḻ olirum padiyil. The Lord who shines inside, within that intellect, behind that intellect, madinai ulle madakki. Instead of turning the mind inwards and making it abide firmly in the self, simply intellectually knowing the Lord. See, madithidudal yangan. See, when the intellect becomes powerful, sometimes we get addicted to intellectually knowing. Too much information, too much analysis, too much intellectualization. Unless the person's inner cognizing power has touched that samadhi, that is why we say that samadhi is needed. Unless you have that ecstasy, that maunam, that shanti of samadhi, the subtlest plane where you can get caught up is this intellectualization. Too much intellectualization. Knowing everything with the brain. Knowing everything with the buddhi. You know everything but no samadhanam, no shanti. Many people say that. We know everything very clearly, but somehow that is not happening. They know everything. Right from Ekashloki to Prasthanatrayam, everything they know. Sometimes some people, they know Advaita Siddhi, Chitsuki, Khandana, Khandya, Khadyam. All these scriptures they know. But there is no quietude inside. Pannul Kudumbam. They have a very big family of books As Bhagavan says, ordinary people have the bondage of small family. These people carry the bondage of big family. So the brain is constantly active, mind is constantly active. We might ask, is it bad then to read and study? No. The Upanishads, the Moksha Shastra must be constantly read. It must be constantly held. Swadhyaya pravachane ye vetinako maudgalyaha tadhi tapaha. You have to study the Upanishads and teach the Upanishads and constantly speak about it, stay in that state, and the Shruti says that is one of the greatest tapas that you can do. Other than this, all other things, intellectual, too many intellectual. Generally people when they speak about reading, I generally say, read the Upanishads, study the Upanishad from an authentic person, study Bhagavad Gita, study the Prakarana Granthas of Shankaracharya. If you want to read in English, read Bhagavan Ramana's Talks with Ramana Maharshi, or Bhagavan's direct books, or study Ulladu Narpadu. Those which has come directly from realized people, those who have really touched that state, Samadhi Prajna. If that is not there, even so many books are there, no? So many people, there are some books, recently we were discussing. When you read the book, you find that all these people are ill-minded. But when you go and see their life, then you find that they are not happy. So what is happening? The thing is, intellect has got the clarity, but the mind refuses to budge. As Vidyaranya Swami says, that Chitta Vishranti is not happening. So sometimes, you take this intellectual learning from some pandit, some scholar, Chitta Vishranti is not there. So that is why our traditional people, they say, first you finish the Karma Kanda, then Upasana Kanda, then without any selfish desire, motive, do all the yajnas, then you slowly get purified. Then you learn Vedanta Shastra by listening, by Shravana, directly from a Brahmavit. Otherwise, you see, you will swallow everything. Sometimes, people eat all this food. Reading some book, they will be eating. After that, the husband asked the wife, you told me today you have cooked some curry. And she says, that is what you swallowed. She says, everybody said that is very tasty. Yes, it was tasty, but you were not aware. You were just swallowing it, reading the book, or looking at the mobile. Like that, you swallow the scripture without tasting it. So it does not become a tapas for you, a sadhana for you. But while listening, if you know the value that this itself is atma vichara, dhyana, and while listening you have the samadhi. The speaker has to remain in samadhi and speak, and the listener has to remain in samadhi and listen. Then neither the speaker will be there nor the listener will be there. Na shasta, na shastram, na shishyo, na shiksha, na chatvam, na jaham, na chayam prapanchaha. Swarupa vabodho vikalpa asahishnu tadeko vashishta shiva kevaloho. As Shankaracharya says, neither the teacher exists, nor the taught, nor the scripture. The world does not exist, neither you nor me. Only that pure Shivam, pure awareness, pure auspiciousness is there. This is the way that the Vedanta Shravana is done. If a person can receive it with so much receptivity, the cognizing power inside, the Shraddha Shakti, it's just like a rocket. It goes beyond the escape velocity. It easily transcends the brain. It goes beyond the intellect and takes a dip into the unknowable, into the timeless, into that nirvikalpa anubhava. So that is what Bhagavan here says, "Matikkuḻ olirum madiyinai ulle madakki padiyil padithidudal." The mati, the buddhi, is being folded inside and just made to merge in the pati. Pati means Ishvara. It means Atma. It means Bhagavan. There the mind is merged. How? In Samadhi. And what is Samadhi? It is the mind taking a deep plunge into the heart, where the ego loses its existence. Just like deep sleep. Deep sleep, you are unconscious, not alert. But you are absolutely alert, vigilant, consciously swallowing the body, the mind, the ego, the jiva bhava. Everything is gone and pure Satchidananda alone remains. So that is the real way of knowing. So, Yo buddhehe paratastu saha, as Bhagavan says in Gita, that which is beyond the buddhi. In this song also there is an English poem, The Bubble and the Ocean. Stop thinking, enough of knowing, be still. Do not measure the immeasurable with thought. The bubble knows the ocean. How does the bubble know the ocean? The bubble knows the ocean by death. Mind will know the bubble, the bubble explodes and becomes one with the ocean. It loses its bubblehood, regains the infinitude, the oceanhood. Like that, the bubble knows the ocean by death. Mind knows the unfathomable by sinking into the source. Enquire, plumb within. How to do that? Enquire, plumb within, holding the thread of I. The I thought, holding the thread of I thought, plumb within, sink within. Relentlessly pursue the quest, who am I? Incessantly pursue the quest, who am I? With the laser beam of attention, look at the I with the I. Trace the I thought to its source till it sinks in the waters of self-experience and ceases to rise again. It just merges in the source, never to come up again. It remains as the samudro bandhu. As the Veda ends like that. The Krishna Yajurveda, the last word, the Upanishad says, ocean is its intimate companion. Samudro bandhu. So this is how the auspicious fulfillment there. So, Madiyiladaal நானென்று இத்தேகம் நவிலாது உறக்கத்து நான் இன்றென்று யாரும் நவில்வதில்லை நான் ஒன்று எழுந்த பின் எல்லாம் எழும் இந்த நான் எங்கு எழும் என்று நுண்மதியால் என்ன நழுவும். Now we are entering into a very, very important portion of Ulladu Narpadu. The heart of Ulladu Narpadu. The teaching of Vedanta is same. But Bhagavan has his own touch, the Hridaya Vidya, the Dahara Vidya. And now we are entering into that portion where Bhagavan is going to speak profoundly about the Dahara Vidya, the science of heart, the mystical science of heart. The upasana which Bhagavan revealed is this Dahara Vidya, Dahara Upasana. So that Bhagavan is now going to speak about Nān endru iddeham navilad. The body never says I. உறக்கத்து நான் இன்று என்று யாரும் நவில்வதில்லை. In deep sleep, the I disappears. The I thought disappears. But nobody says, in deep sleep, I was not. No one can say that. Because the real I is there. I am alive. And I say, I want to go back there. Because sukhamam. There was happiness. நானொன்று எழுந்த பின். When you wake up from the sleep, the I thought arises and everything arises. எல்லாம் எழும். Other things all come out. நான் எங்கு எழும் என்று நுண்மதியால் எண்ணு. Just deeply inquire, investigate, probe within where the I thought arise. This is the next song which we will see tomorrow. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinchidasti yathata veshtam kuru mam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajam.